Our next guest has been here before to offer us his take on the real estate market in the region. His yearly predictions on real estate trends are always interesting and his insights always engaging. Here again, we welcome Anthony Lamacchia of Lamacchia Realty. Welcome back, Anthony. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Before we get into 2018, let's do a recap of 2017. How did the real estate market do last year?
So overall, the market did very well. Prices were up across Massachusetts. Prices were up 5%. As you get closer to Boston, obviously up more than 5%, but that's a statewide average there. And then sales were only up 1%.
Okay, all right. Now, let's talk about your predictions for 2018. Take me through your 4 basic housing predictions for this year.
I have a number of feelings about the year. Number one, I'm not convinced that sales are going to be up again, and I know that that's probably, I'm not. And the reason I'm not is there's a lot of sellers out there who want to list their homes that are hesitating because they're having trouble finding what they want. So I need to be careful how I explain that, because it's not as if people aren't listing their homes. I mean, homes listed in 2017 was only down 1% from 2016, but there's a lot more people that want to, and as inventory gets tighter and buyer demand is higher, I think that's why sales were only up 1% last year, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were down 1% this year. So that's one thing to mention. Another thing is this is going to be the year, and I said this a month ago, and it's unfortunately I've been right. Interest rates are going to go up. We've been spoiled. We've been spoiled for almost 10 years where rates went down, and now it's happening. They're definitely on the upward trend.
And what does that do to the housing market if that prediction comes true?
So far it is, as I said, unfortunately, in the last month rates have gone up at least a half a point. If it's a half point, 3/4 of a point, even a point, I think we're fine. There's so much buyer demand out there that I really don't see it having a big impact. Go ahead.
I was going to say, some people think that, if interest rates goes up, that drives the housing prices down.
There's no question. Only if they go up dramatically. We have so much demand in the market right now that, let's say for every one house there's 10 buyers. Well, if the interest rates make it so for every one house there's 7.5 buyers, it's not going to have a terrific, impact. As long as they don't go up dramatically, don't get me wrong.
What about the current situation with the stock market? How does that affect all of this? Does that have any impact at all?
It actually does. It's complicated. I'm certainly not a stock market or bond market expert, but what you usually will see is the better the stock market does, the more interest rates go up. And then the worse the stock market does, the more interest rates go down. Now, if you take a look at the last month that I already mentioned, rates were up, 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 up. But think about it, stock market was up. Then we had a bad Friday in the stock market, bad Monday, and what happened? Rates came back down a bit. So generally speaking, most of the time, as the stock market goes up, you will see rates follow them.
What about some of the trends for professionals in the real estate industry? How does this affect, I guess, people who do real estate for a living?
Yeah, well, people that are doing real estate for a living, if you're working with a lot of sellers, you're really happy because right now you feel like the hero. When you put homes on the market, they're almost always selling unless your price is way off. If you're working with buyers, it can be a bit frustrating. When you're representing a buyer, just imagine if I was helping you buy a home, okay? And let's say we make 2-3 offers on 2 or 3 homes and you don't get them. After a while, you start saying to yourself, does this guy know what he's doing? Why aren't I landing any of these homes? So we are running into some of that. And one thing about our business, we get blamed for everything. So you have to be aware of that.
Okay, so how about some advice? What advice would you have we'll start with sellers.
Yeah, okay. Advice for sellers, the best time, I say this every year, okay? Best time of year to sell is right now in February till about June, okay? Even the sooner the better because the inventory is lower. And then the best time to buy is in the fall. So if you're a seller, if you can time it so that you can go on the market in February or March, forget about your flowers. I hear that every year. Well, shouldn't we wait till the flowers come up? No, don't. Go on the market when there's less on the market. You and I were talking before we started about my hometown of Watertown. 2 days ago, there was 2 homes on the market. There's 40,000 people that live in Watertown. 2 homes for sale, 2 single families. So if you're a buyer, you don't really care if the flowers aren't there. You want to get a home. So the sooner you list, the better off you're going to be because the demand is higher. Every year, buyers come out before sellers. Okay, in droves. When you get to March, you see more sellers come out, inventory goes up. But before then, buyers are out strong. And that's why the people that list their homes in the next few weeks, they'll end up being happy about that.
A lot of times people think they need to sell their home in the spring because they've got to get settled in the summertime before they get the kids in school by fall. But that's not the way to think.
Well, I wouldn't say that's a bad way to think, but you just have to keep everything in perspective. And you also can't always have the best of both worlds.
And what about a correction though? We've had this really strong housing market for quite a while now. Shouldn't we be seeing a correction at some point?
I'll tell you why. There's two reasons I don't think we're going to see a correction anytime soon. One, the economy is booming like it hasn't in 12 years. Okay, that's first and foremost. Number two, inventory of homes for sale. As of right now, there's roughly 12,000 homes on the market in Massachusetts. When the market started to really go downhill in 07, there were 39,000 homes on the market at this time of year. That's what, 3.5 times what it is right now. And there just isn't enough for buyers to choose from to have the market really slow down.
Well, that is some contrast there. We'll have to leave it right there. Well, Anthony Lamacchia Realty.
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks for coming in and sharing your
Happy to
insights
be
with
here.
us.
Thank
and
you.
we'll see you again next year.
Hopefully I'll be right about most of it.
Okay.
I hope I'm not right about the mortgage rates.
We'll keep the video. We'll keep the video and play it back and see.
That's fine with me.
Okay.
We've done that before. Alberta
Okay,
has.
all right. Okay, when we come back, a little flu test. Let's see how much you actually know about the flu. All the fun but important details right here on Urban Update.